We looked all over Toronto, Canada for sweets at their best.
Moo Milk Bar. I don't think there's anything as satisfying as cookies and milk.
I love that it reminded me how much I love chocolate milk.
A pretzel in the middle of a cookie. That's a snack lodged within another snack.
I mean, this is a pie that as soon as you see it, you want it.
Gloryhole Donuts.
I loved it.
Her donuts are everything you want a donut to be.
It's like opening a nugget of sun.
Clafouti Patisserie.
It's a croissant with a cookie in it, a very famous cookie.
Inside a croissant is just decadence overload.
You get that one perfect bite of explosive cherry, and you're in heaven.
These are unique sweets.
Had you ever been to Toronto before?
I've never been to Canada, bro.
I'm gonna give you 3 solid reasons why you should go. Moo Milk Bar, Clafouti Patisserie, and Gloryhole Donuts.
I don't think there's anything as satisfying as cookies and milk at any age, and at Moo Milk Bar, they get this.
Moo Milk Bar opened in August of 2012, and their pastry chef is Selena Chan.
It's a really warm, quirky, fun little place, and there's cookies everywhere.
They look like the biggest cookie looked when you were a kid, you know? When your eyes got this big as a kid, but the cookie was this big.
So you get all the classic cookies, the chocolate chip,
The oatmeal raisins.
Snickerdoodle.
Then you see a pretzel in the middle of a cookie. That's a snack lodged within another snack.
The cowgirl cookie is made of crushed pretzels, espresso powder, graham cracker crumble,
Micro chocolate chips, oats, semi-sweet chocolate chunks, and toffee bits. It's like the whole rodeo in a cookie.
To start the cowgirl cookie, they beat in a stand mixer butter, brown sugar, and white sugar.
then they add the eggs and vanilla.
Now for the dry ingredients, flour, baking powder, and baking soda, and a touch of salt.
Then she adds crushed graham crackers, oats, and espresso powder.
Next, the crunchy bits, and this is what really makes the cookie the cowgirl cookie.
Semi-sweet chocolate chunks, pretzel pieces,
Micro chocolate chips, and toffee bits.
She mixes all of this by hand and then scoops the mix onto a cookie sheet.
and then they put a pretzel right on top.
It starts with the pretzel in the middle, but it's like a cookie landslide, and that pretzel can wind up anywhere.
The cowgirl cookie was my favorite.
They really chop these pieces up inside this cookie, so within each bite, you're getting a little bit of all the ingredients.
It's begging to be dipped. Like, you have a bite and you're like, what can I dip this into? And luckily, you have 15 flavors of milk.
Vanilla bean, strawberry, gingerbread, peanut butter, chocolate.
Flavored milk quenches this childhood thirst.
The chocolate milk, of course, is like one of the favorites, and it's really simple. They make it with milk, cocoa powder, sugar, and just a little bit of salt.
To the cocoa powder, sugar, and a little bit of salt, she adds some hot water into the bowl, stirs it up, and it becomes chocolate syrup.
In a pitcher, they add some chocolate syrup, a little milk, they mix it up, and then they pour it off into their cute little containers.
I've never had gingerbread milk before. What is this?
To make it, they add cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger.
And to that, they add the molasses, and that's gonna give that gingerbread that punch of a flavor that we all know.
And then comes the simple syrup, a little bit of milk, and with the spatula, it all gets mixed.
Then they pour it through a cotton sieve into a pitcher.
It just dances in your mouth, you know, and it's very refreshing at the same time.
The gingerbread milk had so many wonderful spices and flavors going through it.
I love the taste of gingerbread, and I love milk. I love these two together. I got to drink gingerbread. The 7-layer bar. Oh, 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 oh.
If you have a sweet tooth, man, this is like...
So your pie is actually gonna come with some cookie. Get used to it.
There is nothing as classic as milk and cookies. And at Moo Milk Bar, this is what they know, and they do it very well.
They have all of these amazing cookies and flavored milks, which are reason enough to go there. But why you should cross the border to get there is their 7-layer bar.
The 7-layer bar. Oh.
6 layers, too few. 8 layers, too many. 7 layers, that's the sweet spot.
When you are in the mood for something sweet that you're like, screw the calorie counting, I want what I want, this is what you want in your mouth.
It is made with graham cracker crumble,
Dark milk and white chocolate.
Toffee bits, coconut, and my favorite, sweetened condensed milk. Oof.
Is that all of them?
did we get it?
And fairy dust, 8th ingredient. They don't tell you.
The 7-layer bar starts out by adding sugar to melted butter and a pinch of salt.
To that, they add crumbled graham cracker, and they mix it all up.
That all gets pressed into the bottom of a sheet pan, so that's layer number 1.
Next comes the semi-sweet chocolate chunks, followed by the milk chocolate.
White chocolate goes on top.
Then you have crushed toffee, coconut,
And then they cover that whole big, beautiful thing with sweetened condensed milk. I am a fan.
Next, the bar has to chill so that the layers will set.
Then she cuts the individual bars out. And the best part, she dusts them with powdered sugar. If you have a sweet tooth, man, this is like...
One little bite, and you immediately get, oh, here's a little bit of salt. Oh, wait, here's some chocolate. Oh, wait, here's some creaminess.
It's salty, it's crunchy, it's sweet, it's chewy. It's just, they took all the best adjectives on earth, and then they made a bar out of it.
The cookies are glaring at you, and you're practically under their control at that point. But resist for just one moment and get the chocolate hazelnut ricotta pie. Thank me later.
It's got chunks of sugar cookie and that beautiful chocolate hazelnut spread with the ricotta and the chocolate chips.
You know, ricotta is a very submissive cheese. You know, like, you tell it what to do and it does it. You're like, yo, ricotta, go in a cheesecake. It goes into a cheesecake. You tell it, go into a cannoli, it goes into a cannoli. You say, hey, I want you to be a cookie pie. The ricotta's like, yo, don't worry, I got it.
It starts with a standard pie crust.
They press it into a pie tin and they let it freeze.
They have ricotta cheese in a mixing bowl, to which they add sugar, mix it a bit, and then add chocolate chips.
And then it's time to assemble the pie. She adds the ricotta chocolate chip mix and then pipes on the chocolate hazelnut spread.
Chocolate and hazelnut are basically married. They've been together for so long. They work so well together.
And then she takes a wooden skewer and kind of runs it through the hazelnut spread and makes a beautiful pattern on top of the pie.
And then they put on top of that chunks of sugar cookie. So when it bakes, you get cookie and pie.
So your pie is actually gonna come with some cookie. Get used to it.
The genius of this cookie pie is the ricotta. It adds body and creaminess, but it accentuates all of the other flavors that are happening. It's just layers upon layers of great bites.
Moo Milk Bar not only covers the classics that you remember, but they've invented some new flavors that will become your classics.
It's great to have a place that's an ode to the best snack ever, milk and cookies.
They're taking cookies and milk, they're elevating them, they're making them a little bit adult, and they're doing it perfectly.
Hi, Gloryhole Donuts. This is exactly what I need.
This donut is like having your donut and your coffee in one. Gloryhole Donuts is this quirky little gem in Toronto that is gonna make your trip up north totally worthwhile.
The name is funny. The donuts are not funny. They're very, very good, but no joke.
You can tell just by looking in the bakery case that these people know what they're doing, and every donut's gonna be delicious.
Ashley Jacot de Boineau is the owner of Gloryhole Donuts.
Donuts made by hand make a better quality donut, and I think people really appreciate that.
I walk in and I see this big, beautiful donut, and it's called the Coffee Crisp Donut.
Whoa, that's coffee on my donut.
It's this big yeast donut. It's got this coffee icing, and then it's got fouetting cookies on there. But then it also has a chocolate coffee cookie. This is exactly what I need. A big, beautiful donut filled with coffee and little crispy things. Yes!
She starts by rolling out this proof dough and then cutting those classic donut shapes.
She puts them in the fryer and fries them to perfection.
The coffee frosting is made with butter, cream cheese, milk, vanilla extract, and powdered sugar.
And then she adds some coffee extract to give it that little kick.
She dips the donuts in the coffee frosting. Then dips it in the fouetting crunch. Then she finishes it with the chocolate coffee cookie crumble.
When I took a bite of this, I was like, oh yeah, of course there should be coffee-flavored frosting on donuts. Like, how have I never had this before?
As you bite down and sink your teeth into it, you get these little, like, slaps of your taste buds of, hey, there's coffee in here.
There's a lot of crumble and a lot of crunch, but this donut is like having your donut and your coffee in one.
Dense and luscious, the lemon ricotta cake donut is not to be missed.
This is a real treat, because when you bite into it, there's no guessing games. You get this lemon, ricotta, olive oily cake. It's so delicious.
The cake donuts are made in a completely different way. She cracks eggs into a bowl and then adds some vanilla extract.
Then it's time for the ricotta cheese, which she adds to the eggs, and then she combines everything all together.
Next step, the dry ingredients. Pastry flour, sugar, salt, and a little baking powder.
And then she makes the glaze.
In a bowl, Ashley adds olive oil and fresh lemon juice. Although this looks like it could dress a salad, this is about to be a fantastic glaze for a donut.
She adds that mixture to a bowl of powdered sugar, whisks it all up till it's smooth, then you have your glaze.
She uses 2 spoons to shape the canals of the batter and drops them into the oil.
So once they're nice and golden brown, Ashley takes them out of the fryer and then she dips them in that olive oil and lemon glaze.
That glaze is just gonna melt right on there because of those hot donuts.
The ricotta donut is super dense, but super moist. I mean, this was really kind of a hidden gem.
It's like opening a nugget of sun, and it's just bright ricotta and lemon all over the place, bright yellow interior.
One thing you can definitely tell with Ashley is she loves what she does, and it shows in all the product.
Her donuts are everything you want a donut to be.
She's not doing things just to be crazy. She's doing things because she's good at it.
I want to smuggle her and her donuts back across the border.
Clafouti Patisserie. Immediately when I saw the cookie, I thought, this is so exciting.
You get that one perfect bite, and you're in heaven.
For even more unique sweets, cookingchanneltv.com/unique sweets.
You open the door to Clafouti Patisserie, and the first thing that you see is bread in boxes and croissants piled everywhere. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute, where am I?
Am I in Toronto or am I in Paris?
The case is so beautiful, and I'll just take one of each.
The owner is Olivier Janssen Renard.
He's trained in classic French pastry, which means he's had a lot of things thrown at him and been yelled at by a lot of Frenchmen.
Even though we're from France, we live in North America. I didn't want to be stubborn and say, no, this is the French way. I wanted to kind of please the French people that live in Toronto and also adapt to the cultures that are within the neighborhood.
He's become known for the crookie, which is part croissant, part cookie. He takes a croissant classic dough, stuffs a chocolate stuffed cookie inside of it, and then bakes it.
To make the crookie, he starts with his croissant dough, which he rolls out onto his bench, and then he cuts it into squares.
In the center is placed a broken chocolate sandwich cookie.
Then on top of that, he puts a little piece of fondant, and all that's gonna do is add some lusciousness to this cookie.
Then he adds the other half a cookie and starts to fold up the pouch.
He lets them proof, and then he washes them with an egg wash. Sprinkles them with some sanding sugar. And then one last half of that cookie.
The croissant is super buttery and moist, and then every now and then you get this like bite of a cookie, you know, with chocolate in it.
It all works. It's the left and right side of your brain all being pleasured at once. Just absolute comfort. Clafouti is kind of like a tart with this really unique eggy custard in it, but then studding this custard are Bing cherries soaked in kirsch.
For the tart shell that holds the clafouti, he makes a sweet dough.
It's made with sugar, eggs, unsalted butter, and flour.
He rolls out the dough, and then he cuts it with his tried and true cutter, which is actually like this beat up pot top. But you know what? Hey, whatever works.
He then puts the dough circle into the tart ring by hand, and then he lets them chill.
The filling starts with eggs that he beats with white sugar.
Then he adds cream and vanilla extract.
Since it's a cherry tart, Olivier adds a touch of kirsch, which is a cherry liqueur. This amps up that cherry flavor.